Welcome back to A to Z here on Locked On Sports Atlanta, free on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast. Search Locked On Sports Atlanta. Make sure you check out all the shows here. This is A to Z, of course, hitting hard with John Chuckery, ATL Day Ones, Tenitra Batiste, Jarvis Davis, our Braves postcast after every Braves game as well. Locked On Falcons, Locked On Hawks, and it's all on Roku TV right now. If you got a Fire Stick, you can check out Locked On Sports Atlanta on Roku TV. So make sure you follow us there. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, give it a thumbs up, and a like to all the content. We certainly appreciate all the love and support. Coming up here, next segment, we will get into why there is another gift for the Georgia Bulldogs. I'll explain that coming up here in just a few. But I wanted to turn our attention back to the Atlanta Braves here. And we get some news. Well, first of all, last night they beat the Washington Nationals, clinched a playoff spot, obviously. They are headed to the postseason. It's just a question in what capacity will that be as the NL East Division champs? They've won 4 straight division titles. Or will they go as a wild card trailing the Mets? The Mets won last night, stay a game out in front. Remember, they're tied in the loss column, so that is a plus for the Braves. We also get the news yesterday that Spencer Strider has a left oblique soreness. And Brian Snitker, said it was minor, not enough to put him on the IL. But they see Strider as too vital for the Braves to risk him having anything that could linger into the postseason or the series against the Mets coming up starting Friday, September 30th. And that could obviously determine who the NL East champion is. So that said, both of these teams have lined up their starters for that series, or at least the Braves are now tinkering to do so. Bryce Elder is going to start today for the Braves in an afternoon matinee game as they finish out this game against Washington, or the series against Washington before they head to Philly. And that's skipping Strider's spot in the rotation, I guess, or bumping him a little bit. But regardless, the way it sets up right now, if Strider makes his next start, which is scheduled to be Monday, September 26th, in the first game at Nats Park against the Nationals, that means he would start the last game, the Sunday night game against the Mets at Truist Park. Right now, the starters for that series slated are Wright, Morton, and what would be Strider. You just don't have the ability really to put Fried, Wright, and Strider together without somebody missing 6 or 7 days of pitching. So it's tough for the Braves to do it. Not impossible, but tough. And then you got to remember, hypothetically speaking, if you have Wright, Morton, and Strider going, that would allow you to have Fried pitch the first game of the Marlins series, meaning he would be ready for the first game of the playoffs, which is what you want, right? I think that's what you're looking for, as would Strider be ready for the 1-2 punch. And I saw some consternation, again, as usual, with who's going to be the starting rotation for the Braves in the postseason. And I'm going to say it again because it bears repeating. Folks, this is not difficult. It is Max Fried, Spencer Strider, 1-2. That's it. And the comparison is very simply this. This is Randy Johnson and Curt Schilling in Arizona. It doesn't matter who the third and fourth starters are. When that is your 1-2 punch, it does not matter. It is the same thing for the Mets, okay, who have DeGrom and Scherzer. It really doesn't matter. And, oh, by the way, the Mets rotation sets up with their 3 best starters going against the Braves. Chris Bassett, Jacob DeGrom, and Max Scherzer would all be going in Truist Park. So it works out that way for the Mets, and they should have either DeGrom or Scherzer at the top of their first game of the playoffs whenever it happens. So, but that's the very simple comparison. This is Johnson and Schilling like it was in Arizona. It's Fried and Strider. Everybody else doesn't matter. If you win those games, great. If you don't worry about it, because you've got Fried and Strider going and you're good. And that's how you're going to get to the postseason. If those two guys have an opportunity to pitch twice in a series, in a 7-game series, they're going to win. That's it. It's what it boils down to. If one of them has a chance to pitch twice in a 5-game series, they're going to win. That's how confident I am. Unless the bats go completely silent. They'll give up a run, 2 runs. But they're not going to get rocked for 5 or 6. Morton would. Odorizzi definitely would. And Wright's kind of, I don't know. He's not hit and miss. He's been effective all year long. I just don't think he's as dominant as Fried or Strider. So that for me is closes the argument right there on who's 1 and who's 2. There is one more thing that I've come to the revelation with the Braves about, and I probably have to say I was wrong. I'll tell you what that is in a second. First, a word from my friends at Coffee AM, the best small batch coffee roaster in America, and it's right here in Georgia. Why are they the best? Coffees are so fresh. They roast them and ship them on the same day or very close to it, and they have coffees from all over the world, organic trade, fair trade, direct trade. It is some of the best roasted coffee you'll ever see, and it's from all over the world. Sumatra, Kenya, Tanzania, Costa Rica, Colombia. You pick it, spin a globe, hit your finger, stop it on somewhere, and they make coffee. Coffee AM's got it. Go to coffeeam.com/lockedon. Check out the full menu of coffees, teas, and gift sets at your leisure. Pick anything you like. Make sure you use that coupon code LOCKEDON at checkout, and you'll get 15% off your first order. Coffees, teas, gift sets, and a whole lot more. Again, coffeeam.com/lockedon, the place to go. Coffee AM, the best small batch coffee roaster in America. I, in months past, have sort of advocated for the Braves being willing to let Dansby Swanson walk. I was actually at the Braves game last night for a short moment. It was my kid's school had, school night at Truist Park. And simply put, there are so many intangibles that Dansby does that are hard to account for. And when you just watch him play, you can tell where they are. I mean, outside of just objectively being the 3rd or 4th, let's just even be conservative. The 5th best shortstop in Major League Baseball offensively, guys, is 30 teams. If he's in the top 5, you do the math. There aren't many like him. And while, there is a sense of, at least always with me, sort of like fiscal responsibility in how you manage your players and what you do with them and the contracts you hand out and everything else. And I'm not going to get caught up in Vaughn Grissom being his replacement and that automatically working. I think that's a silly argument at this point in time. Yes, it's silly. The guy's played about 35 major league games. So pump the damn brakes. That's about all I can tell you. I don't think Dansby is a guy that you can let go. It's hard to replace them, right? Unless there is there was a Matt Olson sitting out there with Freddie Freeman. If Matt Olson had not been out there and available, and I'm sure Alex did his homework before. Hey, if we lose Freddie and he goes somewhere else, what are our options? And I'm sure he made a couple of phone calls. I know he's made a couple of phone calls out there as well, but it's like, what else are we going to give away here? How much of the farm system are we going to deplete to get somebody else? And I don't think that's the road they want to go down. Plus, shortstops are infinitely cheaper than first basemen are. Even though Dansby is one of 5 who can do what he does offensively, still overall, there's a sense of a $35-40 million contract for a first baseman. You're probably in the 25-27 range for a high-level shortstop. So I think things are a little bit different. But, yeah, I mean, I'm at the point right now where I've kind of come around on this simple idea that I don't know if you can let Dansby walk. I think you got to do everything you need to do to re-sign him, especially being a core piece of already a World Series team. What will be another one. I think you got to hang on to Dansby. Dansby's important. All right, coming up next, we'll hand out Shovel of Wisdom as well. A gift for the Georgia Bulldogs, as if they needed any more. We'll explain that next right here on A to Z on Locked On Sports Atlanta, free on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast. Search Locked On Sports Atlanta.